shall be added unto you. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
All right, thank you, Carol. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Kathy McNamara, and the title of my message today is The Scavenger Hunt. And many of you are going, this is the Lenten season. What does the scavenger hunt have to do with this? We're not looking for Easter eggs yet, right? So I'll get to that in just a second. Let me give you just a little preface here. When I was a little kid, and I was very little, when my parents moved from New York to Memphis, I was 4 years old. And I was 36 inches tall and 36 pounds. So I was tiny. And my mom had to go back to work right away. She was a nurse, because moving from New York to Tennessee was a very expensive venture, even in those days. So when my mom went to register my two older brothers in second and fourth grade at St. John's School, she dragged me along and told the nuns, you know, she's ready for first grade. And they looked at me because I was this little tiny thing. Well, so they had me read and they had me write. And I did everything my brothers did, and they were both very bright. So it was no big deal for me. I did everything. I could tie my shoes, all the things. And they didn't have kindergarten in those days. And bear in mind, this is like 1958. There were no child care centers. My grandparents were up in New York, so that Mom had someplace she had to dump me off, right? Catholic Church was as good as any place. So I started first grade at 4 years old. I was so small that they had to build a desk for me because the regular standard desks, my chin rested on it. God love him. I remember the guy's name. He was the caretaker of the school named Joby Hadaway. And Joby built me a little desk. The unfortunate thing was it had to be at the very front of the rows because I had to be able to see over everybody's heads. And the reason I'm telling you this is because as I advanced in my grade levels, I was always the youngest. I was always the smallest. And so because of that, my mom was very careful about the social activities she allowed me to participate in and to join in with my classmates because they were older than I was. So let's advance. Fifth grade hits. I'm 9 years old going into fifth grade, and I was invited to a slumber party. Now let me rephrase that. I was invited to the slumber party because it was at Debbie Carrico's house. Debbie Carrico was the kid in fifth grade, okay? Her dad was an attorney and sponsored all the sports at school. Her mom was president of the PTA. Debbie was on the choir, honor society, developed before the rest of us. So that was really big in fifth grade. Debbie was the one, right? And I got invited. We get to the house, and my mom said, yeah, you can go as a good family. We get to the house, and Mrs. Carrico says, we're going to have a scavenger hunt. And I'd heard about them, but I'd never been on a scavenger hunt. Didn't know what to do. So she gave us lists. Everything had to have a list with all the things we needed to find. And all the things we needed to find were in special marked rooms in the house or in the yard. And we went crazy. Utter chaos ensued from that point on. We were running into each other. And then I noticed something. We started pairing up to make it a little easier. And Carol Distretti came up to me and said, why don't you be my partner? We'll try and find these things together. So we went and we started finding things, right? It reminds me of a little joke. Ladies in the neighborhood, lady hears a knocking at her door. She opens it and there's three little boys. She said, what can I do for you? And she knew them. They were from the door to, down. They said, we're looking for a pork chop bone, used carbon paper, and 3 grains of wheat. We're on a scavenger hunt. Lady said, oh my goodness, who on earth asked you to come and find these things? Little boy said, my babysitter's boyfriend. So anyway, we'll go back to Debbie and Carol. So we're searching all around, and we're teaming up. And until we get to about the last 2 items, everything was fun. Everybody was having fun. It was a game. And then you get down to the last minute, and it changes. The whole atmosphere of this game changed to one of complete competition. I got to get it first. I've got to be the winner. I'm going to do better than you are. Doesn't matter if you've never won. I'm going to win. And that was the general attitude across. And I was thinking, now I had 2 older brothers, so competing was part of our household. It's probably our middle names. But we just, it was like, why did this change all of a sudden? It's not as much fun as it used to be. And I had kind of a dilemma. Even at the age of 9, I was thinking, because here I'm the smallest kid, but I'm very bright. I was making very good grades. I'm the youngest kid, but I'm still keeping up with you who are 10 going on 11. I'm 9. And what I kept thinking was, well, I kind of want to be one of the cool kids like the kids at the party, because I had never been in this group before. And at the same time, I didn't really want to be one of the cool kids because they were a little bit different than what I was used to. And I kept thinking, well, if I win, are they going to like me or are they not going to like me? If I lose, am I going to just be that little loser, little kid that always sits on the smaller desk in the front of the classroom? So even at 9, there was this dilemma going on, and it was a competition. And I can't even tell you who won that day. I know I didn't, because I didn't want to, because I had this dilemma, this moral dilemma going on in my little 9-year-old pea-sized brain, which is about the same size as it is now, I bet you. But you know, I'm going through this dilemma. And then as I start getting older and start playing other games and other scavenger hunts, I notice that we always put things into a list. The scavenger hunt is a list. Everything we do is off of our lists. And as we get older, those lists become a lot more complex, don't they? And they become a lot deeper. And you hit adulthood and it's like, my car is better than hers. My spouse is smarter and better looking. My kids behave better when they go out in public. You know, we start having all these lists and we allow that to limit and confine us. And it's not really the way we want to do things. Everything's a competition. I've got to get there first. I've got to do it first. Well, in our Lenten booklet in the garden, a week ago Thursday, the 27th of March, I'm going to read this to you because it's just so appropriate. It's called I Release Competition. The very construct of competition implies that we reduced our life experience to either being very happy some of the time when we win, or sad most of the time when we don't win. Competition is exhausting. I think we would all agree with that. Let us strive to be the best we can be without needing to best others. In this mindset, we can celebrate every time we do our best, regardless of the outcome. We can also celebrate and support others to do even better. Olympic athletes who surely want to win cheer on other participants. Notice I did not say competitors, but participants. If we approach life with a competitive mindset, we end up with winners and losers. When we see each other as fellow participants, we can cheer each other on regardless of the results. Life is much sweeter when we celebrate everyone without having to best them. This is by Reverend Bill Englehart. And I absolutely just loved that reading. It fits so perfectly into what we're talking about here. Whoops, there we go. I'll go backwards here. This is the quote that came on that page. For who is greater, the one who is at the table or the one who serves? Is it not the one at the table? But I am among you as one who serves. Luke chapter 22, verse 27. This is Jesus' words, but I am among you as one who serves. Everyone here serves. We serve God. We serve ourselves. We serve our families, our spouses, our children, our grandchildren. We serve one another in this spiritual community. Many of us serve in our secular community. And by being here, by maintaining the positive attitude, maintaining that connection with the divine, we serve humanity. Because for every positive vibration that goes out into the world, there's one negative one that kind of sinks a little bit lower. So keep that in mind. When you watch the news or anything else, just put out your positive vibrations, because those are far more powerful than anything negative you can see. Even the most heinous acts that you can see are made a little bit less by the positivity and the love that we put out there. So here we've got this scavenger hunt, and it is very limiting, and we have lists. I used to be a big list person. Every day at work I would get my list out, and here's the things I'm going to accomplish today. And for me, being a little anal retentive, lists are great because I got to check it off. I accomplished it. Look what I did, right? This is done. And what a wonderful feeling when you can check something off and say, that's done. And every day, I started my list in the morning. At the end of the day, I took that list and I said, okay, these are the 3 things I did not get done today. So they have to go on the beginning of tomorrow's list. And that was the way it went. I made lists at home of things I needed to do. Now, some lists are okay. Grocery lists. You can't ask me to go into HEB, or God forbid an HEB Plus, without a list of everything that I need to get. And thank God that, I don't know who it was that showed it to us, the HEB app on your phone, because even with the list, I go in and go, oh my goodness, where is what? So having the app is great. So having grocery lists, those types of things are fine. Many of us have bucket lists, things we want to do. Went to South Africa, checked it off. Went to Vancouver, checked it off. Those types of things. But a list can be so confining, because what do you do when the list is done? It's all done. So it begs the question, we're on these scavenger hunts, and life many times is a scavenger hunt, because we're looking for the next best experience, or the next best purchase, or the next best opportunity in our lives. But what happens when that's all we're doing? What happens when that list is done? And how do we go from a scavenger hunt into something more fulfilling? So as I was preparing for this talk, one word it's almost like an earworm. It just kept coming back to me over and over and over again. And it was the word pilgrimage. Now, when I hear pilgrimage, the first thing I think of is the Muslims traveling to Mecca when they make their pilgrimage to the holy place. And by definition, a pilgrimage mostly is going from where you are to a holy place, going to the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem or going to the Holy Lands. But a pilgrimage doesn't have to be a physical journey. I like to think of a pilgrimage. My personal pilgrimage is on my spiritual journey. It's when I go from where I am right now and I go deep inside to my holy place, that place within, that place deep inside where Spirit dwells, where I can communicate, where I can just let go of everything else and connect with the divinity within. To acknowledge the human experience, but also acknowledge there is a divinity in there. And no matter how deep it may be, it is in each and every one of us. And we all have a personal pilgrimage that we're on. You can call it the spiritual scavenger hunt. And when we do that, it takes us to a good place, to the place we want to be, where things are a little more happy, shall we say. For those who have always dwelt on limited thoughts, a very good practice is to dwell on the magnitude of the universe. Ernest Holmes from The Science of Mind. To dwell on the magnitude of the universe. That's that place inside. So let go of the limiting thoughts. Dwell on the magnitude of the universe that lies within each and every one of us. That's what we should be looking for. And so this is another one of those things where I say, okay, well, I've told you what you need to know, now go do it. Well, I don't believe in just saying, here it is, without giving a little bit of a roadmap. And we do have roadmaps. By being right here, you're on the roadmap. By doing affirmative prayers, that helps us stay in the positive light, to stay where we're going. And for those of you that might be new to affirmative prayer, it's not, dear God, please don't let me get a speeding ticket on my way home. That's not affirmative prayer. That's just knowing that's what's going to happen. And what you put out into the universe, it's going to give right back to you. So if I'm in a hurry somewhere, I'm going to probably say, I know that I'm going to have a safe travel and commute, and I'll get to my destination safely and in a timely manner, and no matter what else happens, all is well. I'm going to put it out there in a positive fashion, positive affirmative prayers. We don't supplicate, we don't beseech, we don't beg, because God's here saying, I'm here, what do you want? Just tell me what it is you want. Don't ask me, just tell me what you want. Jesus said in his one quote, but I am among you as one who serves. Jesus is the Son of God. We are all children of God. So what you want is here for the taking. You don't have to ask for it. You just need to declare it. This is mine and I'm taking it now. So there is no begging. There is no supplication with any type of affirmative prayer. We just do that. Meditation. Meditation is another wonderful way. Now, I'm not a good meditator because I don't sit still very well, and I may have told you this before. So for me, meditation is sitting in the garden with my radio playing some music and mindlessly pulling weeds around me. That is a form of meditation to me because I'm out in nature. I can appreciate everything. I hear the birds in the background. I brush the ants that are biting my ankle away. But it's just a way for me to meditate. When I used to commute, we lived in San Diego. We worked in San Diego and lived in a little town called Temecula, and it was about 65 miles one way to the base, where Connie, Megan, and I all worked. And I was the driver most of the time in the van pool. So I did what I called my open-eye meditation. All that was in the background was the rhythmic snoring of the commuters that were with me. And I got to just enjoy, at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, there's no traffic on the road, right? So that's my open eye commute. So whatever meditation works for you, and I'm saying this to you so that you don't understand, you don't have to sit with a candle lit and playing Zen music in the background to meditate. It's whatever works for you. And there's nothing wrong if you have an opportunity to sit in Zen mode with a candle lit and listen to meditative music. Once in a while, I love to do that. But it's something with your busy activities of the day. Don't think, I can't set aside 30 minutes for, I can't set aside 30 minutes to just breathe. You don't have to do that. 5 minutes of quiet solitude can do the world of good for you and for everything around you in the universe. So that's another way that we get from this mad scavenger hunt into a personal pilgrimage. And the other thing we do is we come to church. I love that when 2 or more are gathered in my name, we are here communing with one another. And our founder, Charles Fillmore, said this: "The true church is not made of creeds and forms, nor is it contained in the walls of wood and stone. The heart of man is its temple, and the Spirit of truth is the one guide into all truth." So we get to come here to something made of wood and stone. This is beautiful. And every Sunday we come together and we commune to be here, now, together. Each of us on our own very personal pilgrimage of our spiritual journeys. But we each come together to acknowledge the divinity within, to acknowledge who we are and whose we are. We are children of God. We are entitled to every good thing the universe has to offer. We just have to declare that it is mine now, right here, right now. And it doesn't matter if you're in church, if you're sitting in your garden on Sunday morning because it just felt better than getting dressed and coming here. In spirit, you're with us. If you can't and you watch the video later in the week, if you go out to lunch with a dear friend, that's communing. You're bringing your temple to them and vice versa. So always remember that the only way you can do this is to be here and now. The only way you can do this is to be in the present moment. I can't tell you what I did a week ago last Tuesday. It's done. Hopefully it was good. If it wasn't, I've made amends and it's gone. I can't tell you what I'm going to do a week from Wednesday because I don't even know if I'll be here. But I can tell you what I'm doing now. Right now I'm communing with my spiritual family. Right now I'm in a loving environment and I can be here with you and we can talk about things together. And that's perfect. So here's my challenge for you for the week. And this is just kind of a review of what I've just told you about. Move from a scavenger hunt into that personal pilgrimage on your spiritual journey. However that may look, however it may unfold for you, move into your personal pilgrimage of your spiritual journey. Just go deep within to where God is within you and where all is well and all is good. Become a participant instead of a competitor. Participate in life. Don't compete with it. Don't compete with anyone around you. How many of us win every single time anyway? And sometimes when you're competing, you get so involved in what you're doing, you forget that you crossed the finish line. So competition isn't what it's all cracked up to be. And the next is to appreciate what is right here, right now. Namaste.